Today is March 13th, 2024. I've had a day. I've had a day. Okay. Out in Worcester today, some guy, I don't know his voice, but I could hear him off in the distance, yell something when I went over to McDonald's, walked across the parking lot. They got a hold of me. I found out what that ass did now. Okay. The original officers that worked my case, they called Dave an ass, an arrogant ass, and a bastard. Okay. The only reason why these people did not go to jail, and they were talking about it out in Warren yesterday, is they thought that Judge Timothy Ludick was involved, a district judge in the drug cartel. Now, if the police can prove that a district judge is selling people, extorting money, having people drug beat and raped, they're going to get him nailed 100% proof, and they're going to put him in jail. I was talking to an officer. I said, these people try to say it was a retired judge was doing it. He was friends with a district judge and like they should be above the law. He said that's a stupid way of thinking. It is a stupid way of thinking. Okay? That if they can prove a judge is doing crimes, the police arrest them right away. They're regular people. Just like agents and regular cops. They're regular people. They do crimes. They arrest them. No man is above the law. President Nixon bucked in office and he got impeached. Right to privacy. Where these people run around. Do you know why I didn't get prosecuted in 18 for their crimes? Because they don't have anything admissible. Their crimes. Do you know why I didn't get prosecuted in 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, now 24? And I never will. For being victimized by these bastards. They have nothing admissible. I did nothing wrong. And that's where these people are thinking stupid. Okay? That's where Edith Oakland apartment, after they told them everything was drugged and photoshopped, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. December 9, 21, 4 p.m. Okay? He told me, he said, I think the COVID virus damaged people's brains, and they're finding things funny that aren't. And it's causing a great mental health crisis. All of these people have been active mentally ill. Michelle and Alex are part of the Florida human traffickers. Big drug cartel. They were selling people. Okay? And murdering people, dismembering. They're killers. They're child molesters and they're killers. They're running sextortion scams. Andrew Arabic up in Ravenna had 7 victims of getting nude pictures of people and doing whatever he was with them and trying to extort money. He went to jail 12 to 15 years. The only reason these people didn't go to jail is they put judges' names on them. And that puts a higher level of corruption. And they're going to make sure that they have every T crossed and every I dotted. That they got them nailed 100%. These people have been going after the Portage County judges. And when you break it down to that, where investigators showed up, where they went so elaborate on 9/18/19, I found out investigators had showed up and said they were getting in the back of polices, telling people they were there to protect me. They let them in the back of the courthouse, where my regular cops could take a coffee break, lunch, because there's police officers. I'm safe in there. The riffraff got in the back and they were framing Ludick. Okay? had Alex dress up as a Santa Claus, long white beard, white hair, and put a robe on, walk around, acting silly. And Judge Ludick, he walked by my room. It took me a second. It's like, you look like that Alec or Alex, the one that said he crushed my head in on 12/21/18. It looked like him in a beard. There's a spit image of him. Only seen him for a second. Okay? And Judge Timothy Ludick comes in laughing because they're in there out there joking around. We're ready to begin. He was just laughing at him for being silly. Where they were telling everybody they were friends. He even walked around that judge, framing him. Arrogant son of a bitch. They asked, the investigator said if they wanted a reliable witness. We went to that judge. He's seen him. Well, the cops in the courthouse seen him. Seth Arco seen him. My attorney. They were outside my room for you had us look into it. You knew she couldn't handle it. You knew she appreciated us doing it. You could find she did nothing wrong. Well, that guy that looks like retired Judge Pete, the Santa Claus look. That's all it is a Santa Claus look. Walks by, and Judge Timothy, and walks like a penguin. And Judge Timothy Ludick comes in laughing. He's laughing at him because he's being a jokester. He told everybody they were friends. He didn't even know who he was. That's where investigators came up. They wanted a reliable witness. Even a judge seen that guy dressed up in a robe and a Santa beard. He didn't know who he was. They were framing Ludick. That he was an accessory to kiddie porn. Trying to frame him for being a child molester. That he is sex trafficking videos of people. He's having people drugged, beaten, raped, and exploiting women and children for personal gain. Okay? And the man knew nothing. They want hell. That man's a Christian. Sits up on the pulpit. See, they made a lot of mistakes. Judge Timothy Ludick came in and he didn't change out the name plans. It said Stephen. I thought it was Stephen too. And they said Judge Stephen's doing this to her. It's a judge over a divorce. Actually, he's protecting her. Oh, actually, it's him doing it. And they kept saying it. And I looked up my papers and it's Timothy Ludick. They didn't know his name. And then they said, well, it's retired Judge Pete. Well, I asked Cecily Mullins. There was a picture on the wall of a little white Santa Claus. I said, who's that picture of that judge on the wall? I don't know. If he's pictures on the wall, he's been retired a long time. She's been an attorney a long time. So put 15, 20 years on a 60, 65-year-old face. He'd be like 75, 80. Wouldn't have an 18-year-old daughter. Where I said it was, looked like Alex in a beard. The guy that was bragging he crushed my skull in, left me for dead. The one that raped me in my home in protective custody, 12/21/18. Like they said, there's a video of the man that did this. Crushing her skull in. Got him for attempted murder. Dead to rights in a protected home custody case with statements. It's him and that stripper. Okay? Scamming everybody. Now, running sextortion schemes on people. See, where they keep telling these people, no one could be in her home before. You say you're in her home, she will own them. Oh, if you admit to stalking somebody, you admit to stalking somebody. You admit to all these crimes, let alone just even stalking. They can sue you for psychological harm and physical harm. I will own them. Just like there was no doctor from Altman Hospital, it was one of their drug friends. Just like it wasn't retired. They said they even went to that family they were blaming everything on. Retired Judge Pete's family. They knew nothing. He's an old man. Wouldn't have an 18-year-old daughter. He'd have an 18-year-old granddaughter, great-granddaughter. See, people, it's that stripper and that drug cartel. I kept thinking, well, who the hell did they put in jail that they're getting even with them? I looked up cases, 17 and 18. They put a lot of drug cartels in jail from Canton to Ravenna. They gave them heavy sentences. So what they're doing is where they kept saying they were using me as a pawn. They're fighting over this area. Okay? 2 drug dealers. Okay? Well, they were also getting even with the courthouse for locking up their men, framing the judges for being corrupt, that they're selling people, that they're actually doing it, that they're drug beating, raping people, they're selling kiddie porn. I was out in Warren on Tuesday. They said this is what the holdup, why this case has been going on so long. They've been trying to frame Ludick. I know they are. That he's letting people get exploiting women and children for personal gain, and the man knew nothing. He didn't even know who that was. He's just laughing at him for being silly, but they're so arrogant. They were framing him. Now, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. Your papers or effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. What did it say? Your home can't be violated. Okay? No searches, no seizures, but upon probable cause, warranted with an oath or affirmation. You have to have a court order just to search it. To actually watch you and monitor you, police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements, or it's not admissible. Where Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own, and Pete's only Alex running a scam. And it's his stripper girlfriend, her brother, scamming everybody. The drug cartel. Now, can he, like I talked to a criminal attorney, he can't hire Pete or anybody on his own. Nothing they have is admissible. Officer Reinhardt Louisville, I don't care what they say they got, I don't care what they say they did, until that agent took your statement and agreed to protect you. Even the FBI would go to jail outside to protect a life case with statements. It's illegal to even look or listen. I talked to the Portage County sheriffs. What these people said they did is illegal. I said you couldn't look or listen to it because it's the Fourth Amendment. Yes. Ravenna Police, Massillon Police. My friend that worked at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office is a fraud scheme. It's a big fraud scheme. Now, where people are acting stupid, it's been 6 years since the fraud scheme started. 6 years. Okay. We're up there 6 days. They kick in my door while we're out. My ex is tried to have me murdered 4 times and it didn't work, so they decided to frame me. By the second week, I am literally almost passing out in the yard in front of the neighbor. Kept saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. I got marks on me. I've been throwing up. I've been dizzy at different times now. My heart's racing through my neck and I can't breathe. Okay? Here I've been drug being raped. All right? And they were roofing me and telling me to say something stupid. And then they are supposed to Photoshop a washing scene by clicking and pasting in the other room to make me look weird because she's a bitch. Now we're going to put it this way. It's a sextortion act. Nothing they have is admissible. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, they made the biggest mistake in the world. No one can look or listen to it. They did it in your home. It's the right to privacy of our home. See, if the police department would have done it, I would have owned them for police abuse. They said they had no knowledge of it because Dave hired Pete on his own. Nothing they have is admissible. I've talked to the criminal prosecutor's office in Portage County. Cried my eyes out till I was stuttering. And if they would have known everything, well, I'm sure they do with talking to Abigail, the victim activist, the FBI representative showed up and gave him my file and like 20. Shows them an informant. And no one's to talk to me about an ongoing case, and if they needed to get a hold of them, how to get a hold of them. Okay? And the ones in the courthouse, they already told them I was an FBI informant in 19. All right. Now, and they would talk about it when I go in, the cops in the courthouse. Now, we're going to talk about this. Would people want this happening to you? Would you want this to happen to you? 100%. Would you want this to happen to you? Would you want it to happen to your daughter, your mother, your sister, your friend, your niece, your granddaughter, or someone, or yourself? How would you like to be home alone? Okay, privacy of your own home. And you wake up and you're throwing up, and then you look and think, where did I bang my arm or leg? Okay, you go from well water or regular water to well water, and the well water is real dirty, and you're getting sick, and you're wondering if the well water isn't so toxic it's making you sick, because that does happen. And then you're thinking maybe it's even infecting your personal area. We're just washing in it real quick. And see, that's where I was blaming everything on the well water. And then where I had marks I couldn't explain and muscle pain, I thought it was giving me cancer. I never seen or talked to anybody before the FBI. So how would you like to find out some serial rapist is stalking you? And they're selling your grandchildren on kitty porn going potty. How would you like to find out that pervert's been selling you on porn sites, showering and making love to your husband? How would you like to find out his bitch of a sister that's dating your husband that's nothing but a fucking stripper and prostitute is having them in a sick game, have them Photoshop you washing in another room? Click and paste it. Being a psycho bitch. And they did this in a stocking tapes behind your back, and they're showing up and confessing in stores. They did all that. We had marks you couldn't explain. You're throwing up, heart racing, dizzy, and you were personally infected. It wasn't the well water. It was us drug being raping you. And they had drugged you up and told you to say this, and they photoshopped a washing scene. You're in trouble. Am I in trouble? Not really that stupid, right? It makes me a victim of a drug scam and a human trafficking scam. Even teenage kids have been showing up, tell everyone not to say a word to her. An extortion group did sex stuff to her. An extortion group did sex stuff to her. Michelle showed up at Faith Family Church in 19. Told everybody she was an FBI agent, Will's daughter. Okay? And that everybody was letting them get away with crimes because she was Agent Will's daughter and she was dating Dave. Okay? And then when they tried to pull it to Pete, that he was Ludic's friend, and he was letting him get away with crimes trying to frame Ludic, that they said that she was Pete's daughter. She changed her identity. Okay. And she told everybody at Faith Family Church she was retired Judge Pete's daughter then, and they were letting him get away with crimes. And she was nothing but a fucking stripper, and it was just her brother in a Santa beard. It's that stupid. And like the officer I was talking to, these people are thinking stupid. If the police can prove that they're committing crimes, judges, agents, anyone, they arrest them. They're regular people and they all go to jail. But what's took my case so long is they were framing Ludic to be in the human traffickers. The cartel, where they said they were using me as a pawn fighting over this area. This whole thing was nothing but a scam for them to get away with human trafficking. They told people that in 18. Cops knew it. They bricked it in 18. It was a bet between two gentlemen. Their bets are this and this and this. They're using her as a pawn. They're drug lords. Okay. Well, they're also using it as a pawn to get even with those judges for locking up their drug cartel. They've been going after Ludick. Ludick is a district judge. He's a magistrate. He's a Christian. Sitting up there quoting scriptures. He looked at my ex-husband and said, if you don't abide by my rulings, I put people like you in jail all the time. Wait till he finds out that arrogant ass has been framing him for kiddie porn and being a child molester. And he is having women drugged, beaten, raped for personal gain. And he's been under investigation because of that arrogant ass. Oh, and if you think those people up in Ravenna are going to find any kindness towards these people doing this to me and trying to frame that Christian judge, you're not going to find any kind of leniency up there. Because like I said, we looked it up, and Karen's Will even defended that judge they were blaming everything on. And until they can prove me wrong, I don't believe Ludick one bit was part of this in committing such heinous crimes. Like they said, it was Alex in a beard, where I said it's a spit image of him in a beard. It was him in a beard. I'd only seen him for a second. And like they said, they wanted a reliable witness. They went to that judge, asked him, if you see somebody dressed up in a Santa beard and a robe on the day of her divorce joking around, he told him yes. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know he was impersonating a retired judge. He may not even ever met Pete. There's a good 15, 20 years between them. There's a good chance he was already retired before Ludick became a judge. You getting the idea? Nobody remembered that old judge. And it wasn't even him doing it. It was a cartel framing people and then trying to get even with that courthouse. There is nothing they have as admissible. And then on top of it, these idiot people, and they called them idiots in 19. Idiots. Okay? They have confessed in front of the cops since 18 that they had drugged me up and told me to say stuff. They actually drugged me during the case and were laughing in my face. Where you woke up with a bruise, we drugged you and told you to say this. We drugged you and told you to say that. And I didn't see. I just had more marks on me, and I'd run to the bathroom and vomit to find out it was people breaking in and violating me. And now they're doing it in front of the cops, and they documented it. And they were laughing they were doing it before. And they laughed that they photoshopped a feminine wipey above the toilet in the other room in January 19. They admitted by January 19, they photoshopped all their lies before. And by 21, March 1st to 3rd of 21, they put clips together, made a porn. It wasn't me, it was them. And then what you're describing when people are saying stuff, it's like, that sounds like showering, washing. And then ha, 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 ha. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22 at noon, they found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26th, 22 at noon, the shower scene was done on purpose to make it look weird. Edit the Oakland apartment, December 9th, 21, 4 p.m. My client's neighbor in Navarre, in March of 22, and then December 9th, 21, also white man bald with dark eyes distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. There's only 4 or 5 volunteers. Can't find them. They always knew. The tapes before were them and not me. And the tapes before were them and not her. That's what they told Ed. And then the client's neighbor in Navarre, that Pete/Alex basically ordered everything to be drugged and photoshopped and made up on her. Oh, the one in March and 22 in Navarre? A lady from the Canton FBI talked to her, and the police already taped them. And then where they were lying, they had sodium pentothal reports where they were date rape drugging me, telling me to say stuff, then laughed at me. They were roofing me. Then May 25th, 21, 6 p.m., Wendy's in Louisville, being drugged and told to say weirdo stuff. I got 2 witnesses on my phone. 8, 9, 21, the apartment building for me, second close fence, lady and little kids live there. We're talking about it. 4 or 5 neighbors got together, did a police report, 1295 Fairlawn. Little old white lady screamed at him, talked to several people in 21. There was an African American lady, November 1st to 3rd of 21 in Save-A-Lot, was telling people not to say anything. They found out everything was them and not me. Then we got Ed, got that guy at the Hunger Task Force. We have my client's neighbor in Navarre. January 19th, 22, Department of Disability. They told them I was drugged and told to say it. February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory. A Latino man admitted in front of people that he personally drugged me and told me to say it. People went screaming into Save-A-Lot. People on 6th Street in Canton across town were running out of their house screaming. Okay. It's been a fucking fiasco. They made fun of FBI agent John, June 7th, 23, how they made a big fool out of him. White House Tabernacle, Kitty's sister Jody and her friends publicly mocked him, sold videos of it. The sheriff has it. Huh? They also have Eric's confession, November 18th, 22, 2 to 6 p.m., Walmart 62. Of Eric confessing everything was him and not me, done for a stunt for people to turn on me they fell for. Huh? June 30th, 23, winter party, how they made big fools out of all these people. That's where teenagers are showing up. Nobody say a word to her. Some big extortion group did a bunch of sick stuff to her. It's not funny what they did to her. Nobody say a word. It was just that extortion group. It was that stripper and her friends. You know what I think? My ex-husband thought since I didn't die, he could frame me and I'd get locked up. Have people drug me up and tell me to say stuff, Photoshop scenes and stocking tapes in her house. Have them drug, beat, and rape me. Huh? And he'd get away with it. And that I'd get trouble for being victimized. The law don't work that way. You do realize that. By federal constitutional laws, the prosecutor's office can't even look at it. I talked to the Stark County prosecutor's office. They can't legally look at it. Dave didn't have a right to have him in my home. You know they have the churches nailed. They had that phone call from Terry where I didn't hang up of the churches taking up $25,000 to have me murdered, and it was Keith, Bishop, Strange, and Ron. Because Ron wanted me dead. They have that Dave hired 2 men to kill me for him and his girlfriend to get everything. Oh, and him and Jack had this plan since March, because I wouldn't give up everything willingly. They actually have that. Premeditated murder and premeditated obstruction of justice if I didn't die. This was all planned out, where they had people show up for FBI agent John out in Worcester in the spring, or actually, what was it, summer last year? And John said they had it set up for a long time before they did it. Oh, a year before, when they're talking about March. It wasn't March 18, it was March of 17 when the money disappeared. And then my car started getting scratched up. And then the attempted break-in and knowing where the security system was, then the attempted kidnapping into 18. Get it? Follow rounding. The premeditated murder. See what I mean? And then when I didn't die, with attempted kidnapping, the follow rounding, attempted carjacking, even be buffled, that's when they came up with framing me. If I did die. And see, that's where I was talking to an officer. He said, with them drugging you up, it was almost like they were trying to kill you with the drugs. Somebody already said that. To slowly poison me to death. Not just frame me. Now, see, people aren't thinking. Dave thought he could frame me. You know, he quit paying my alimony. He has $4,300 behind in alimony. By federal law, he should not have a driver's license. It's suspended at $2,500. In 2 weeks' time, if he does not pay me, It is a felony, and where he has a CCW, he can never carry a gun again. He has a felony on his record. I think he thought I got him on tape where he was threatening me, that he was going to have all kinds of people line up and testify against me and try to get me locked up. I laughed at him. I said, I haven't seen people in years who would say a word about me. It's so absurd. I started laughing at him. You know, I told Seth Arco, that attorney, he said, I don't care what they do. He said that he could have people go in there and scream and yell up stuff. You know what the state of Ohio, the laws are? The flat out laws are, you were married so long to him, and per year you were married to him, he owes you so much money for being married to him. That's the law. It's a numbers game. That's it. It's not what kind of person you are. It's a numbers game. You were married to him so many years. He owes you so much money for being married to him. That's all there is to it. It's a numbers game. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. It doesn't matter this. It don't matter that. It's a numbers game. He thinks he can go in there and have people just ruin your reputation. They can't. It's a numbers game. Nobody wants to hear it. He wasted his time. I think he thought if he framed me, he could get me locked up. He wouldn't have to pay my alimony. That's not how the law works. If the man wasn't a fucking idiot, he would have lined up me dates left and right, break me up and down, and said she is the best wife in the world. Go marry her. She'll treat you like a king. The only thing that stops my alimony, quartered her, wife's remarriage. So how many dates? I should have had a date every other day. He's so stupid. He thought the police were stupid, or they weren't arresting him locally, but they're getting all the big drug dealers off of him, connected him, because they were messed up in that drug cartel. That he could have me in trouble, and that they would fall for it, even though they're doing it in front of him. He knew I called the FBI. He talked to that agent. He knew I called the FBI, complaining around me. Karen, you got all these men around you. I started laughing. It's like they're locals. I've seen them pulling locally at different places. And he's like, they want you. Well, I really started laughing. Well, they don't want me. They're cops. They're investigators. But I didn't tell him that. I said, they don't want me. There's no man that wants me. He's like, Mama. I said, they don't want me. They're just locals. People are shopping. God of heaven. They were cops.